88 million years ago, a piece of Africa broke away. Alone in the vast Indian Ocean, it became something completely different. A land of strange creatures and even stranger landscapes, where evolution took its own path, far from the rest of the world. Stone forest sharp enough to cut through skin, ancient trees that looked like they were planted upside down, and animals so unique they don't exist anywhere else on Earth. This is Madagascar, an island forgotten by time and one of Earth's wildest creations. The journey begins in western Madagascar, on a dusty red road lined with giants. The Avenue of the Baobabs is one of the most surreal sights on Earth. A natural cathedral of ancient trees rising about 130 feet into the sky. Their trunks are thick and silver gray, their branches twisted like roots reaching for the clouds. From a distance, they almost look upside down, as if someone planted them the wrong way. Locals call them Renala, meaning mother of the forest. Many of these trees have stood here for more than 8 centuries, surviving cyclones, droughts, and the slow retreat of the surrounding forest. Long ago, this entire region was covered in dense tropical woodland. Only these few remain, standing as silent witnesses to time. When the sun rises, light spills across the red earth, and the baobabs glow with a warm golden hue. Shadows stretch across the road, and the air feels heavy with stillness. At sunset, the scene becomes even more magical. The trees catch the last orange light of day, mirrored in small pools left by the rain. It's one of those moments where everything feels perfectly still. The Avenue of the Baobabs isn't just beautiful, it's deeply symbolic. It captures the heart of Madagascar, ancient, resilient, and unlike anywhere else. Travelers who come here rarely forget the feeling. The air smells of dust and sweetness, and the horizon glows red. There's a quiet sense of awe that's hard to describe, like stepping into a dream that existed long before people arrived. Beyond the baobabs lies the heartbeat of Madagascar, its wildlife. More than 90% of the species found here exist nowhere else on Earth. Isolation turned this island into a playground for evolution, and the results are incredible. Start with the lemurs, Madagascar's most famous residents. Over 100 different species live here, from the tiny mouse lemur, small enough to fit in a palm, to the large and soulful indri. They move through the treetops with ease, their golden eyes watching curiously from above. Each forest has its own species, each with its own songs, colors, and behavior. Then we have the chameleons. Half of all the chameleon species in the world are found here. Some display colors so bright they look painted by hand, while others are smaller than a fingernail, blending perfectly with a leaf. The panther chameleon is one of the most striking, flashing shades of turquoise, orange, and red as it moves. Madagascar's reptiles are full of surprises. Leaf-tailed geckos disappear into tree bark, snakes mimic vines, and frogs wear patterns more vivid than tropical flowers. And then there's the fossa, the island's top predator. It looks like a mix between a cat and a mongoose, sleek and agile, capable of hunting lemurs in the trees. The fossa is rare and secretive, but its presence keeps Madagascar's delicate ecosystems in balance. This isolation made Madagascar both strange and sacred. With no outside influence, nature had the freedom to experiment. The result is a living museum, part dream, part reality, where evolution's imagination ran wild. Walking through these forests feels like stepping back into an older version of Earth, untouched and untamed. Every sound, the crunch of leaves, the distant call of a lemur, the hum of insects, reminds just how alive this island really is. West of the baobabs, terrain begins to change. The forests thin, the ground hardens, and jagged limestone towers rise from the earth. This is Tsingy de Bemaraha National Park, one of the most extraordinary landscapes on the planet. Tsingy means where one cannot walk barefoot, and it's easy to see why. The entire park is a maze of sharp limestone spires, a stone forest carved by wind and rain over millions of years. Some towers stretch more than 100 meters into the air, slicing the sky like blades. From above, the view is breathtaking. Endless ridges of gray stretch to the horizon, broken by deep ravines and patches of forest hidden between the rocks. It looks almost alien, like a world where gravity and logic don't quite apply. Bridges and ladders link narrow paths between the limestone peaks. Walking across them feels like balancing on the spine of the earth itself. Below, caves and underground rivers wind through the stone, carved slowly by water over countless centuries. Despite the harsh terrain, life thrives here. Lemurs leap effortlessly between the pinnacles, geckos cling to the vertical walls, and rare birds build nests in cracks, no wider than a hand. Plants grow wherever dust and light allow. Standing among the spires, surrounded by silence except for the distant sound of birds, there is a feeling that is hard to describe. It is like stepping into the imagination of the earth itself, where rock, air, and time created something beyond human design. Tsingy de Bemaraha is not just a natural wonder. It is a symbol of how wild and unpredictable Madagascar can be. One moment, it is lush rainforest, the next, a desert of stone, yet both are equally full of life. This is the beauty of Madagascar: constant contrast, endless surprises, and the sense that no matter how much is seen, there is always more waiting just beyond the horizon. After days of dusty roads and stone forest, the scene softens. Off the northwest coast lies Nosy Be, Madagascar's island of calm, where turquoise waters meet golden sand and time seems to slow down. Nosy Be means big island in Malagasy, but life here feels small, simple, and peaceful. The beaches are picture-perfect, with soft white sand, coconut palms bending toward the sea, and waves that sparkle under the sun. But Nosy Be's magic isn't just what can be seen from the shore. It is also what waits below the surface. Beneath the water, coral reefs are full of life. Schools of colorful fish move like shifting rainbows. Sea turtles glide past divers. During certain months, even whale sharks visit these waters, gentle giants moving slowly through the deep blue. Nosy Be's smaller neighbors are just as stunning. A short boat ride away lies Nosy Iranja, two tiny islands connected by a sandbar that appears and disappears with the tide. When the tide is low, it is possible to walk between them on pure white sand surrounded by crystal-clear water. Despite being Madagascar's most popular tourist area, Nosy Be never feels rushed. Sunsets here are spectacular, with skies of pink, orange, and violet reflected in the still ocean. As night falls, the air fills with the sound of waves and distant music from beachside cafes. It is the gentle side of Madagascar, a place that invites stillness after the adventure, a moment to breathe, to watch, and to realize how much beauty this island holds. Back on the mainland, the scene changes once again. The air grows cooler and heavy with mist. Rain falls in fine droplets that glisten on the leaves. This is the Andasibe-Mantadia Rainforest, one of Madagascar's most treasured ecosystems and one of the easiest ways to see its wild heart. Just a few hours east of the capital, this forest feels like a different world. The canopy above is thick, and the light filters through in soft beams. Beneath it, vines twist. Moss covers every branch, and the ground glows green with life. And somewhere in the distance, a sound begins, a long rising call that echoes through the trees like a haunting song. It is the voice of the Indri, the largest of all lemurs and the soul of this forest. The Indri's cry is unforgettable, deep and almost human, filled with emotion. Locals say it connects the living to their ancestors. For travelers, hearing it in the mist feels almost otherworldly. The Indri is found only in this part of Madagascar. It moves through the trees with grace, leaping from branch to branch on powerful legs. Unlike most lemurs, it has no tail, only a round body and a face full of quiet intelligence. But Andasibe's magic does not end there. The forest is home to many other lemurs, including the bamboo lemur and the diademed sifaka, one of the most beautiful primates on Earth, with white fur and golden highlights that seem to glow in the sunlight. At night, the forest changes again. Guides lead quiet walks through the darkness, shining flashlights into the trees. Tiny eyes reflect the light back. Mouse lemurs, tree frogs, and chameleons curled up like leaves. The air hums with insects, and every step reveals another secret. Andasibe-Mantadia is more than just a park. It is a living time capsule, a glimpse of what much of Madagascar once was before deforestation and change. It reminds us that the island's greatest treasure is not only its beauty, but its life. Standing beneath the tall trees, surrounded by sound and color, it is easy to understand why scientists call Madagascar one of the most important biodiversity hotspots on Earth. Every leaf, every branch, and every sound is a heartbeat in the island's endless rhythm. From the green mist of Andasibe, the road turns south into a completely different world. The air becomes dry, and the colors shift to gold and red. In the middle of the desert rises Isalo National Park, a landscape so dramatic it feels sculpted for film. Here, sandstone cliffs stretch across the horizon, carved by centuries of wind and rain. Deep canyons cut through the plateau, hiding palm-fringed oases and clear pools of water. The locals call it the Malagasy Colorado, and the comparison fits. But Isalo has a character entirely its own. The park is sacred to the Bara people, who still bury their dead in hidden tombs within the cliffs. If you hike long enough, faint carvings or ancient resting places appear among the rocks, reminders that even in the harshest landscapes, life and tradition endure. Even in this desert landscape, life thrives. Ring-tailed lemurs lounge on warm rocks and colorful birds glide between the cliffs. The contrast between the dry land and the abundance of life makes Isalo unforgettable. It is a place that captures the spirit of Madagascar, full of extremes yet perfectly balanced. One moment harsh and dry, the next soft and full of life. When night falls, the sky over Isalo becomes a canvas of stars, vast, silent, and endless. Far from any city lights, the Milky Way cuts clearly across the darkness, a reminder of how remote and untouched this island still is. And that's Madagascar, a world apart from anything else on Earth. A place where evolution ran wild, where forests sing, and time forgot to move on. From the ancient Baobabs to the sharp peaks of Tsingy and the calm blue waters of Nosy Be, it's a reminder that nature still holds a few secrets. This is Madagascar, Earth's most extraordinary island. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.